Well, howdy, I'm Mark Dempsey, and again, we're visiting with Hopkins County Master Gardener Ronnie Wilson, as we do from time to time. Let's talk about tree planting, and spring is still a good time. I don't know why I think more in terms of the fall for tree planting.
That's probably the best time in the fall, if you get them established before the winter.
Right.
Then when spring gets here, they're really ready to take off.
Yeah.
But I was buying trees one time, and this was August, I think it was. And I asked the salesperson, who was a master gardener, I said, is it okay to plant trees in August?
Uh-huh.
She said, I wouldn't have any problem with it.
Uh-huh.
Well, she's a master gardener.
Okay.
She knew what
go.
to do. She told us, just make sure they stay watered.
Right.
And that's really one of the big things when you plant a new tree. Make sure it gets sufficient water and moisture for the first year.
Uh-huh. Well, Ronnie, as always, provides us with some excellent notes on these topics. And, of course, you walk into a garden center or what have you, or a nursery, and trying to pick out a tree or anything else. So you have some tips there. Say, avoid buying trees that have off-color leaves, which stands to reason, weak branches, or have an odd shape. So kind of, it's not that difficult to pick out what would be
I wouldn't think so.
A good tree.
Just stay away from the bargain bin. You don't want a tree shaped like an S. You want it to be straight up with strong branches.
Right. And take into account very much so how big the tree is going to be.
Yes, do some research before you choose a variety of tree. Make sure you're not trying to plant an oak tree, in a 12 by 20 foot space, because it will outgrow it very quickly.
Yeah. So are there, and I'm going to get away from your notes here for a second, are there some particular 2-3 varieties of trees you would strongly recommend for Hopkins County?
Oak.
Anything oak?
Yeah, red oak especially.
Yeah,
because we planted one, I don't know, about 8 years ago, and it's already 30 feet tall.
Really?
It just really liked the place we planted it. It gets water, plenty of sun, and it just went to town. We have another, I think, a white oak that's doing well. It doesn't grow quite as fast, but that's fine. Elm trees are everywhere. The one we have in our front yard, my wife and I actually went to a place in the woods and dug up a small elm and transplanted it. It took it a couple of 3 seasons to really take hold, but now it's as tall as the white oak we have.
Yeah. So any sort of oak at all should.
I think that'd be my number one choice. Yeah.
Are they more costly than other trees that you might?
I don't know about that. It's been a while since I bought a tree.
Of course, it's a long-term investment, isn't it?
It is. So you want to make sure that whatever tree you choose, you have enough room for it to allow it to mature.
Right. And then you provide some advice for actually digging the hole. How do you put it into the ground?
Yes. If it's container grown, like most of them are that you'll find, you want to make the hole 2 to 3 times as wide as the container. Deep is not that big a deal. It needs the root flare, where the trunk turns into roots. That needs to be at ground level. A lot of people think it's good to sink it down deep so it'll really be solid. That's a bad idea. So the root flare needs to be at ground level. So the hole, not too deep, but very wide. And when you put the tree in, make sure it's watered really well. Use only the native soil. The soil that you got out of the hole, it goes back into the hole. It's really tempting to put, I'm going to put compost in here.
Yeah.
Bad idea, because the roots will get used to that, and then they don't grow out into the native soil. And if you dig the hole too deep, you can create kind of a well effect, a cylinder, where the roots are too deep and they don't grow sideways as well.
Yeah, good advice. We're going to run out of time before too much longer, so important to provide mulch.
Yes, after the tree's in. mulch 3 to 4 feet around. This helps keep down weeds and hold in moisture.
Mm-hmm. And then this almost goes without saying, but really the trees require quite a lot of water.
Yes, yes, they do. I would say at least 1 gallon a week for each inch of trunk diameter.
Uh-huh.
And that's all the way around the drip line. You water up next to the trunk, it's not really doing the tree much good because all of its feeding roots are out at the edge of the leaves.
Yeah.
So you've got a tree here, but you have to water a lot larger space.
Mm-hmm. We planted some trees last fall, and I was looking at some things from AgriLife, and it was a photograph of someone watering with one of the big utility buckets that you get at one of the box types, and rather than a hose. And I found that's pretty useful in terms of measuring the amount of water and spreading it around and not having to wait forever while it runs out of the hose, and then not knowing how much you've. So that's been helpful.
I probably misspoke. You need probably more than 1 gallon of water per week for these trees, maybe 5. It really takes a lot of water.
Yeah, I think we've maybe doing over the winter and spring a couple of gallons every other day is what we've been. Yeah. Okay, and those are oaks, by the way, a couple of them. Yeah. Well, Ronnie, thank you for the advice on trees here at Mid-Spring. Ronnie Wilson is our Hopkins County Master Gardener, one of them. And I'm John Mark Dempsey, and this is KSST.